time as a moderator for this group for subject business ethics. And today we are going to discuss about regarding COVID-19 that happened in India. So, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, government globally, including India, implemented multifaceted strategies such as lockdown and vaccination campaigns. In India, citizens and religious groups called for easing lockdown or to resume work and conduct festival for economic and cultural reasons. Despite effort, India faced a severe second wave attributed to political events and religious festival not adhering to COVID-19 protocols. In a bid to address vaccine shortage, India banned local manufacturers from exporting vaccine, leading to potential legal risks. Furthermore, India's vaccine export ban triggered global response with the US restricting raw material export, the EU implementing a 6-week cap on vaccine export, highlighting the interconnected nature of global vaccine supply chain. And today we are going to discuss about COVID-19 that happened in India. So now let me introduce my group members.
Muhammad Afiq Hazim, Muhammad Syawal, Shasha Batrisya Amanda, Hanan Mardia, Ui Chin Wen.
So now you guys already know my group members, and now let's start our debate session. Okay, so the question is, the decision made by the government of India to declare India weak against COVID-19, although there was an uncertainty of the real situation. Any points from you guys?
Okay, for me, I agree with this situation because the main reason behind such a decision could be political in nature. Government often makes strategic decisions for political reasons, and declaring success in handling a crisis like COVID-19 pandemic could be an attempt to garner public support, boost confidence, and potentially influence public opinion in the context of an election or to manage public perception. It's happened because India was experiencing a significant drop in daily COVID-19 cases that leads to optimizing and a sense of overcoming the initial wave. Okay, that's for my point.
But I disagree with you about this statement because India must use public health emergency, such as a pandemic, are typically assessed based on data and guidance from health experts and organizations. Government usually make announcement and decision relate to the pandemic in consultation with health authority. Declaration of victory are typically based on concrete evidence, such as a significant decline in case, high vaccination rate, and other public health indicators. So, it is crucial to rely on verified information from official sources and news outlets to understand the current situation accurately.
Okay, I want to add my point. That is, why the decision has been made is because the public health consideration. Public health consideration are wide variety of elements that public health authorities and policy makers consider when deciding on invention and program to safeguard and improve population health. Then managing public anxiety, which is the pandemic instilled widespread dread and worry among the general people. Even if the situation was not completely under control, the administration may have sought to allay this fear by declaring victory.
Okay, but sorry to disrupting you, but misinformation during public health can occur because crisis can have serious consequences. If there has been updates or change in the situation since my last knowledge update.
Okay, that's enough for your points. So I heard all your points. So now I can decide that for this situation, or a situation, is that I also disagree with this situation. I can decide that this situation is disagree because why does the India make an announcement without knowing the real situation? Because it can risk people's life and it will give no benefit for them. Okay, so for the next question is the Indian citizen decision and religious group to push for ease of the rule for lockdown to allow them to return to work and hold festival to honor their religion. Any points from you guys?
Okay, for me, I also agree with this statement. This is because in terms of economic sustainability, basically all people are facing financial problems during the lockdown. So by easing restriction, will allow them to resume work and address economic challenge. For example, most of people in India who live hard will have difficulty finding the financial resources, especially to buy raw material or daily food. So this is not only affect their daily economy, but also the emergence of other diseases besides COVID-19, such as starvation or food poisoning. Okay, not only that, but for religious group, by holding festivals, it is not only a symbol of respect for their tradition, but also contributes to the local economy. For example, when they are holding celebration, they are not only gather, they respect their religions, but all the buying and selling can also be done. At the same time, help to improve the economy.
For the public health risk, is apparently using lockdown rules and may lead the will increase the case and COVID-19. is we need to prioritizing the public health is essential to prevent overwhelming healthcare system and protect vulnerable to population. For example, festival, especially in India, we have the large scale festival, and then it may long term economy consequence because has a return to normalcy could result in happens lockdown, causing the more fascination economic downturn in the long run. And then individual of high risk. This is because using restriction may increase the effect of high risk and individuals such as infants and children, either year and the existing have the problem. Okay, that's all for me.
So I can conclude that even though one country has their economic problem, but still health is very important. So I can consider that even though the Indian citizen decision and religious group to push for each of the rule for lockdown for their economics, but they need to think and they need to think their health because it is very compulsory for them. If anything happen for on their healthy, it would be a big trouble for them. So I think that I agree with your point, but your point also good. But I can consider that this point is needed to think about health first before economics. So we go to the next point, which is the decision by government of India to ban export of vaccine to other countries when there is shortage of vaccine for local uses. So now we can start holding the session. What about you?
Okay, for me, I agree with this point because India must focus there on the vaccine. If in India can reach herd immunity faster, that could be indirectly help other country by slowing down the global spread of the virus. And then it's important for the business ethic. The government must protect our vaccine manufactured by legal travel. But with this, will making sure they can meet legal demand. First, it's the right thing to do. Keeping a promise for support to local business is ethical. And then for political, the government must make sure this choice to get more support by the public because especially during the COVID-19, the government must putting citizens first in the line to make sure the citizens have a healthy more than other countries.
Sorry to interrupt. I just agree with your point about the decision by the government of India to ban the vaccine export. This is because the global nature of the pandemic necessity a cooperative approach. Banning the vaccine from export can be seen as a violation of the principle of global solidarity. The internet connection world, leaving other nations vulnerable to the vaccine can have an indirect consequences, including the potential for the new variants to.
For me, the decision by the government of India to ban export of vaccine to other countries when there is shortage of vaccine for local usage. So I agree with the points, and I can add the points, which is why do India ban the export of vaccine? Because their population is very high, so they need a lot of vaccines. And if they keep exporting their own vaccine, so that their people will not get the vaccine, and it could give a risk for their people. Are you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all. We go to the next situation, which is the decision by vaccine manufacturers to breach the contract that they have entered into as instructed by the government of India. Any points from you guys?
Okay, for me, I agree with this situation because it will disrupt the vaccine supply. If manufacturer indeed breach the contract by not supplying promised vaccine dose, it could have significantly hampered India's vaccination campaign, leave a larger population vulnerable to infection, potentially contributing to a surge in cases. For further consideration, specific of the contract need to do for analyzing the risk term of the contract. Airline breach and manufacturer justification are crucial for a more accurate assessment. Thank you.
I'm so sorry that I disagree with your statement because as you know, generally in India, vaccine manufacturers engage in contractual agreement with government, organization or international bodies for the supply of vaccine. This agreement often involves legal and ethical consideration. Breaching contract without valid reason would be a significant matter and could have legal consequences.
Okay, so I heard about your both points, and I can conclude that for this situation, I agree with Afi Azim because the vaccine manufacturers has been disrupted. Why? Because it can give an impact to the Indian people. Because I know that Indian citizen does not have their own vaccines because of this situation. So I think decision by vaccine manufacturers to ban the export the material to outside of the country is a good decision. Okay, now so we go to the next situation, which is the decision made by other countries to ban the export of raw material to produce vaccine to India in retaliation of the acts by Indian vaccine manufacturer. So, how about your points? Your points.
I agree with the decision by the other country to ban the export of the raw material. With the decision by other country to ban the export of the raw material to India in retaliation is because the right of the ensuring the fair access to resource. From an ethical standpoint, a country might want to ensure the fair access to the critical resource, especially during the global health crisis. Countries may argue that they need to ensure the fair access to the raw material from their own vaccine production. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, here was the instance where the country faced a shortage of the existing medical supply, including the raw material of the vaccine production. To ensuring the fair access to these resources become a key ethical consideration to address the need of the diverse population. That's all for me.
Okay, for me, I am not agree with the statement because I think the decision will affect the humanitarian consideration. With the ban emphasize the humanitarian aspect of the situation in a global health crisis. Basically, prioritizing the well-being of people should be a paramount ethical concern. So banning the export of raw material can hinder vaccine production, potentially affecting the life of those who need it the most. For example, like during a pandemic, emphasizing the humanitarian aspect is so crucial. A global response should prioritize saving life and mitigating the impact of the virus of vulnerable population. That's all.
Okay, you guys have done with your points, so I heard about it. And now can I conclude it? Okay, so I agree with Shasha points because she disagreed. And can I add some points? You said about the humanitarian consideration. It is true because the statement said that other countries do what India already banned to export their raw material to other countries because their country also need their raw materials to produce the vaccine and important for their humanitarian consideration. Okay, so if they keep export their raw materials and then how can Indian citizens could have their own vaccine and that it can reach their peoples. Okay, so that's all for the situation. So we go to the last point, which is if the same situation happens in Malaysia, what would be the ethical way to handle the situation? So how about you guys?
Okay, for me, it's involved various aspects, among which is like to help access to vaccine during a pandemic is a basic human right. Violation of contract and restrict access such access to vaccine can have a huge impact on people in other countries who face dire situations. In addition, global responsibility during a global pandemic, international cooperation is essential. Limiting export could exacerbate vaccine shortage elsewhere and hinder collective effort to effectively control the virus.
Okay, in my opinion, so international cooperation is my point because collaborating with international bodies, if applicable, to find solution and address global health challenges collectively. So that the contract of breach is about legal compliance, adhering to legal obligation outlined in the contract and relevant law,
Okay.
and that it can resolving dispute if any through legal means while respecting due process.
Okay, let me add later on the economic impact. Contract breach can damage country reputation as a reliable trading partner and have long-term negative economic consequences. So for alternative solution, exploring options such as decreasing domestic production, prioritizing vulnerable population in Malaysia and seeking international assistance may prove more sustainable and ethical than a complete export ban.
In other point, the pandemic triggered a global economic recession marked by contraction in GDP and disruption to global supply chain. Many countries experienced economic downturn with negative growth rate in 2020. Thank you.
Okay, so I heard about your point, so I can conclude that if this thing happened in Malaysia, what would we do? So about your point, you just said that a global responsibility. So about the global responsibility in Malaysia, we have no issues if anyone doesn't want to take about a vaccine. And you also said about the economic impact because our country also produce a vaccine and we export to other countries. And even though about exporting the vaccines, somehow it could not give an advantage for us, but it can give an advantage for our economy. So we need to give it balance, which is our health, our Malaysian health, and our business. in Malaysia about the economy. So if this thing, because our country also deal with this disease, which is COVID-19, the largest, the pandemic disease. So I think it is good for the economic impact, and global responsibility is also important. So as we know that COVID-19 was a big disease and will give a big impact on every country to deal with it. About all the situation that have been discussed from us, it can be a lesson for our country if happen in our country, because some of the situation that happen in India that we are not supposed to follow it. About business ethics itself, for example, exporting the vaccine to other countries, it is good for the economy, but also needed to think about the citizens who are liberal. Thank you.